Hey yo, I just got done watching 2005's Boogeyman, or as I call him, the Boogie Woogie Man. And it stars Barry Watson, Emily Deschanel, who's in Bones, with David Boreanaz, Sky McCall Bartuskik. Apparently he's dead. Apparently she died at 21, which is sad. Tori Mussett, Andrew Glover, Lucy Lawless, who wasn't really in it that much, Charles Meza, Philip Golden, and Aaron Murphy. Um, what can I say about the film? I didn't like it that much. Well, to be honest with you, I liked it at the beginning. The beginning was really good and it had me going. And later on it fell apart. So let's get on with it. So we start off with little Tim, played by Aaron Murphy, and the lights are off. It's dark in the room, and one was his like the clothes come up, they move about, and like they're walking towards him. But when he turns the light on, they just fall. So it's like an entity is moving when the lights are out. Which is scary, especially when you're watching in the dark. It's like ooh, and then things start moving about in your imagination when you're home. Anyway. So he accidentally knocks down the light and he goes, oh no, and he hides under the cover or the duvet, whatever you want to call it. I always call it a cover, I don't know why, under the duvet. And basically, you can see the entity coming towards him from under the cover. It's like, and then his quilt gets pulled back, and that's when you see it. His dad. That's right, his dad. Going, what are you doing? Oh no, you broke your lamp, basically. And what happens is he goes, let's look for the boogeyman. He looks under the bed, nothing there. He looks behind the blinds, nothing there. And he looks in the closet and he goes, nothing there, walks out, and the boogeyman grabs hold of him, throws him out again, pulls him back in, and you never see the dad again. And little Timmy's like, scared, you know? So you fast forward 16 years later. Now, first of all, 16 years later, Pill think that his dad left. And you're like, okay, so 16 years later, he's got a girlfriend called Franny. I think it's Franny. Is it Franny or is it just... No, it's Jessica. He's got a girlfriend called Jessica, sorry. And basically, she's like, come on, meet my parents. And basically, her parents are rich. Typical American film. Big, massive house. Rich family. Snobbish. Look down on him. Jessica basically says he lived with his uncle and all this stuff. And his dad went off and left him. And so forth. Character development. So then, basically, he goes to this children's hospital. I'm guessing it's like a therapy place. Because one of them, when he goes to leave, he hears a girl screaming like, ah! And he goes, what's the matter? And he goes like this. And he sees like this crack in the ceiling, you know, like those squares you can move in the ceiling. And it's flickering a bit, like moving a bit. And he's like, there's the boogeyman. And so he presses the buttons for the girl. And he decides, because his mother recently died. So he decides to sort out family affairs at the house where the monster's in the closet and scares him and he won't want to be there any other time. But he goes there and he goes there alone. No support, alone. So then his ex-friend or ex-girlfriend or whatever she was, Kate, turns up. And played by Emily Deschanel. Basically, they have an old remembrance chat, basically, and she goes, I'll bring your dinner round, and you're like, woohoo, get in there, Tim. And basically, then his girlfriend turns up, Jessica, and she's like, hiya. So he goes, we need to leave, because in the house, he keeps seeing his mum and his dad having conversations, and seeing himself as a kid. But he ends up talking to this little girl who's in like this little barn thing outside. And so it's home, and he's like, well, here we go. And they talk. And he later on looks in her backpack, and it turns out there's all these missing children. And you're like, oh. And you're like, this is getting quite good. There's one scene I really liked where there was this bird that crashed right into his car, and its bacon that was stuck in the glass, and he was trying to pull it out. I really like that stuff. It's quite effective because you just went boom. So then carrying on, basically, he's like, let's leave. So they stay at a hotel. Something happens, and he gets tight of port. He sees this portal and ends up back at his place, back at his mum's place, and you're like. So then he basically sees Emily, and they go to the house. They go to the hotel room again, and there's blood on the bathtub, and you're like, and then things start falling apart. Because then you're like, I don't really, you sit there going, I don't really care about this anymore. I don't really care about these characters. You went from a great psychological horror thriller kind of thing to falling apart a little bit. And then basically what happens, he goes back to the house, and cutting the long story short, he ends up confronting the Boogeyman. There's this half an hour bit where basically he talks to the girl when she leads into this place and says something about how her dad wasn't strong enough to fight the Boogeyman. And then you see posters of her on the wall, missing. It turns out she's a ghost, and you're like, yeah, didn't see that coming. And then there's this chair which is like nailed down to the floor. So he goes to his house and he nails the chair into the floor, and I'm sitting there going, what's this about? So we eventually see the Boogeyman. And basically, his girlfriend gets thrown out of the bathtub from under the water and out again and then back down again because there's a portal in the bathtub. And he's like sitting there, Tim, like, oh, no. And all the time I'm sitting there going, show us some skin. Let me see some knockers. Knockers mean breasts, in case you didn't know. And I'm like, come on. It's a PG-13 movie, by the way. So, that wasn't going to be. And just sitting there, and all of a sudden, he's going through these different closets, and they're leading back to his place. Goes through one, and he ends up at Kate's place. And then the Boogeyman's about to go, and he runs and jumps through. And then he grabs hold of her anyway, and he gets pulled through his room. And you're like, bloody hell, bloody hell, like it's all over the place. So then you're sitting there going, and you see the Boogeyman, and the Boogeyman on the box, you see the hand, and it looks quite creepy. In the movie, it's just a really, really bad CGI man who looks a little bit like a ghost, right? And basically, he looks like a homeless man. He looks like a homeless, angry man ghost. That's what he looks like. So he's in the closet and he's about to fight him. And Tim decides he's going to hit him. So he hits him and all these birds come all over the place going, woo. He hits this, he hits his glass thing, whatever it is. It's a static thing. Hits it and basically, I tell you what it felt like. Kate and Tim went flying in the air from these bolts. It looked like they were getting hit by the Ghostbuster guns. You know how they get the ghosts in Ghostbusters. I can't remember what the gun's called, so I apologise for that because it's something very simple, I'm sure, and I'm sure if I thought about it, I could, clear. And it wasn't like 5 in the morning. It looked like that, right? So then he gets this doll from this, from like a drawer, and he hits it because it looks just like the bloke, and the bloke breaks up like. Ugh. Then he goes in the closet, comes back, and Tim kicks him, and he goes flying in the closet. Goodbye. He's gone. Tim gets up. opens the blinds. We don't find out what happened to Jessica. We don't find out what happened to his dad. Hell, we don't find out what happened to his uncle. His uncle turned up and got taken by the boogeyman. Yeah. What the hell? And at the end, the whole time I thought in the end, was this all in his mind? Did he have a girlfriend? Was his uncle still alive? Was his dad just gone? Because Paul said, oh, there was Boogeyman all along. Right? And yeah, it looked that way. But if he didn't care about his girlfriend, and he didn't care about his dad, his uncle and that afterwards, were they even real? Because he was in a children's hospital at one point, and he kept visiting all the time. She says in the thing, she says that, don't you think it's not normal that you keep visiting when this is just for children? And you're sitting there going, does he still believe he's a child? But he's having sex. So you're like, I don't know, it just was weird. So then right at the end of the credits, there's a thing like a creak in the door, and you're looking through it, and there's this girl like, Mama, can you close the cupboard or the closet? And the girl looks over at the closet, and you're like, we're going to see a sequel. And as a matter of fact, there was 2 sequels, which I'm going to have to watch now because I watched this one. Oh. To be honest with you, it was actually quite good until the second half, and then it started falling apart. Especially when you saw the Boogeyman or the Boogeyman. You know, as soon as you saw him, it kind of took everything away. Because watching the beginning, it made me realise, made me remember when I was a kid. You know, that fear that there's something there, that something's going to just touch you right on the shoulder, or something's just going to get you in your sleep, you know. I had fears like that, you know. I had fears that someone was in the bedroom. When I remember staying at my nan's one time, and the door was open because my family wouldn't let the door. My nan wouldn't let me shut the door because she needed to check up on me, you know. Not because I did anything, but because I was young. I used to think there was someone in the hallway watching me because it was pitch black and I couldn't see in the dark. So when you were a kid, you kind of get those fears, didn't you? And you think there's something there. I used to think I used to see people. It was my imagination, but I used to see them. You know what I mean? So I could understand where little Tim was coming from. And it used to scare me. But you get to the bit where you see the Boogeyman and you're like, this guy's not scary. It just looks like some stupid CGI man, a homeless bum man, running after people and that, and it kind of ruined it. I would have liked to have had more of a monster that, you know, that kind of touched and scared you, but there was something else that happened. Because it was really, the psychological part was great until the second half. It was all great until the second half. It just fell upon it for like your standard horror movie, which isn't a horror anymore. I hate this. If there's one thing I hate, it's PG-13 horror movies. Because to me, they don't get the horror right, you know? Now, I mean, I can understand if you're like 13 or even 15, you know, and you ain't had the experience with horror movies. You watch a horror movie and you ain't watched many, it's going to be a movie that scares you, I guess. Now, my cousin, Georgina, she watches movies like this and she screams. Yeah. I watch a movie like this, and I go like this. No, 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 no. You know, but anyway. So, I recommend this to people who like psychological thrillers, because to me it wasn't that horrific. It's a horror, but it's not horror, if you know what I mean. It's kiddie horror to me. Disney Channel after 9 o'clock horror. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to kind of point down because the first half was extremely good. But the second half just made me want to flush it down the toilet. And this keeps happening. And the screen always goes black. I don't know why, but it does. So, but anyway. This is a good movie up until the second half. I could watch the first half again and again and enjoy it probably. But the second half, no. Barry Watson did a really good job. I believed he was amazingly insane. You know, because you don't know half the time if he's seeing it or if it's a part of his mental state. Emily Deschanel, I didn't really like her. She didn't really, to me, she wasn't really that big in the movie. Oh, Tim, are you going to be alright, Tim? Tim, you're seeing things, Tim. Timmy. It was just like, his girlfriend Jessica, she was like, oh, I'm just in it for the ride, and, you know, I'm not going to be in it for most of the movie. And the little girl, bless her soul, she was wonderful. I loved seeing her. She was like this. This was the little girl. Oh, I know what happened to your father. Your father. Your father. So, you know, and to be honest with you, I liked his relationship with the little girl. But there's this big scene where after he finds the missing posters, where in the house all the kids turn up around him. And you're like, why didn't his dad turn up? Why didn't his uncle turn up? Why didn't his girlfriend turn up? I know they're not dead at that time, but you're like, why couldn't he even see his dad? Why could he see these kids but not see his dad? And the problem with the movie is you never find out what happened to his dad, his girlfriend, and his uncle. So you're sitting there going, are they dead? Are they in oblivion? Are they in limbo land? Or are they in a different dimension, getting played with by little monsters? Or have they joined the flying circus? Who knows? But it was upsetting because I would have liked to have seen them all being thrown out the closet or something. But yeah, so it wasn't the best movie. It was a great movie for the end of the night because it was one of those films where it's made me feel more tired. And it goes really, really slow towards the end. Like, right at the end, in the last 20 minutes, it goes really, really fast. But you're watching it and you're going, this is stupid. Ridiculous. Why is the Boogeyman got to look like a person? Why can't he be like a monster kind of thing? That would be more interesting. Why do we have to see him? You know, why couldn't he talk to Tim as his dad? Why couldn't we have, you know what I'm saying? There's 2 more movies, and I'm thinking to myself, what are the other 2 movies going to have? Because if they're exactly like this one, they're going to be a bit boring, aren't they? You can't go any further than this one. You know, with this storyline, I mean. So, yeah, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5. Because I did like the first half, like I've said multiple times. I did like the first half. I hate the second half. I just think they ruined the character of the Boogeyman. Tim just all of a sudden becomes this hard nut and starts hitting him and all this other stuff. When, to be honest with you, I thought he should have just been petrified. I did enjoy the scenes with Lucy Lawless as his mum and his dad talking and them having to go at him for locking him up in the closet and saying you've messed him up and everything. I actually like those scenes because I thought they were realistic, you know. But I thought the character went from really weak to being really strong. When, to be honest with you, I didn't think he could have been that strong because of the way he was. You know? I mean, it was good that he did it, but it just was pathetic, the ending. Just pathetically stupid. So, I'm sorry if I didn't like the movie that much. Like I said, the first half was the best part. And I give it a 2 because I did like some of it. It was a good effort, but it kind of just sucked at the end. You know, I really expected a lot more from this because some people had told me this was a good movie. And sadly it wasn't. But just because I didn't like it doesn't mean others won't like it. So if you fancy giving it a go after listening to this, give it a go. If you don't like it, join the club. Join my club. It's called May to December Shitty Movies. Or actually, May to December Good Movies with Terrible Second Halves. I don't think of a better name. But anyway, this is the scariest movie ever. Phil Boatwright, the movie reporter. Never heard of him. Anyway, so yeah, 2.2 out of 5, 2.0 out of 5. I didn't like it. You might like it. Like I said, if you watch this review, and you still fancy giving it a go, good luck to you. Hope you enjoy it. If you do, let me know in the comment box below. Let me know. And have a good day, guys. Please subscribe and have a lovely evening, or morning, or afternoon, whatever time you're watching this. Take care, guys. Bye bye.